Welcome, one and all, to the White Nova review. We are 1 week removed from Fastlane, and we've got WrestleMania coming up right around the corner. As you can see, there's been some changes around here. I may not be the main White Nova champion right now, but I am the first ever holder of the White Nova Barcade Brawl Championship. I'm just gonna put that right over here for right now. You can see my cat Nora in the background there by my weights. Hopefully she's going to be good throughout this whole video. So today I want to do something a little bit differently, just for the sake of time. I want to go over some of the booking decisions that we saw at Fastlane, and rather than brutally dissect some of the matches that were there, let's just talk about the booking and how things I feel could have been improved. So first thing to start off with, we had the Usos defending the SmackDown tag titles against Miz and Shane McMahon. This is, for the most part, very, very solid. Not a whole lot that I would have changed here. It was surprising to see that Shane turned heel on Miz. Everything seemed to be leading up to Miz turning on Shane, especially when Shane was the reason that the skull-crushing finale got kicked out of and a 3 count was not made because the ref was distracted with Shane still being in the ring. But apparently that wasn't a big deal to Miz, and he just wanted to win in front of his dad. And he's been cutting good babyface promos on SmackDown, so overall, I'm okay with it. That's absolutely fine. We're getting a fresh side of Shane. Hasn't been heel since he came back, so this is really exciting. I would not say that we need to change anything about this match. The next match, though, I was not a fan of how it looked. It was Asuka versus Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville for the SmackDown Women's title. Asuka is an excellent and amazing performer, and Mandy Rose is a fantastic character. They should have been able to come up with something here, but what they wanted to do was sell the story of how Sonya is screwing up for Mandy because Sonya was going under the ring to get a kendo stick or whatever. And by doing so, she lifted the apron up above the ring, and this caused Mandy to trip over it when she hit off the ropes. And it did not look like a good spot. It doesn't really protect Mandy in any way because she's never really been known to be a graceful competitor in the ring. This was not really needed. If you wanted to do something where you're going to tease tension between Mandy and Sonya Deville, you should let Sonya show a little bit more aggression. Sonya, I would say, if she's going to be looking for some weapon to attack Asuka with, she should have just gotten it out and used it. She should have brutalized Asuka, or could have done the thing where you hit Asuka with the kendo stick and then Asuka turns around and murders her as well. There's a few things you could do there, but you don't have to just do a slow, start boiling a breakup between Sonya and Mandy. They've done this before, and then they just kind of halted that, and now they're doing it again. It's also very strange to be doing this right after the Shane and Miz breakup, because now it's just like you're showing your teams just wanting to break up for whatever reason. And this is a big thing that Vince seems to love to do, is just break up tag teams, because that's the condensed drama. We need to ease off on that. Next up, we had Kofi Kingston taking on The Bar in a handicap match. This didn't work on so many levels. One, The Bar, as much as I love Sheamus and Cesaro, I couldn't tell you the last time they won a big match. Them being a credible threat, it's not there. I'm not seeing it. And they just completely steamrolled Kofi just to get some heel heat going and some sympathy for Kofi. Now, to their credit, the crowd was absolutely chanting for Kofi throughout the night, so it did work. But one of the things I think we could do better was, instead of having The Bar come out, what if we had the Revival come out, the current Raw Tag Team Champions? They didn't necessarily need to be defending their titles tonight. We already had a SmackDown title match. We don't need to do a Raw title match. We could have the Revival come out and just brutalize Kofi Kingston because they're the tag team champions, and New Day are very proud tag team champions as well. Could very easily paint the picture of that the Revival will just want to single one out and just brutalize them and take them out and crush their dreams, because that's just what the Revival are. They are the top guys. This would also make a lot more sense where Kofi and Xavier Woods and Big E get involved, because now we can set up a tag match between the Revival and Xavier Woods and Big E, with the implication being if Xavier and Big E are able to beat the Revival, this helps Kofi in some way. You can have Kofi still doing other things. You don't just have to have him waiting around for other people to win stuff for him. We saw on SmackDown this week, he survived an amazing gauntlet until Vince decided to just layer on top of that and just keep him down. So I think that doing something like that would keep all members involved and can keep some heat going. Possibly lead to Xavier Woods and Big E versus the Revival at WrestleMania. Then you would have the New Day holding tag team belts and the WWE title as well. I think that'd be really cool. Especially because then you can have the New Day reintroduce new Raw tag belts and the new WWE Championship, because frankly the whole Raw and SmackDown exclusive titles is just kind of, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm ready for something just more standard. Let's see. Then after that we had a impromptu fatal four-way match between Samoa Joe defending his newly gained U.S. title against Andrade Cien Almas, or against R-Truth and also Rey Mysterio. I liked this match. It's really fun. You should definitely go watch it. My only complaint is don't have Rey eat the pin. Because Rey Mysterio has been built up as this big deal, and since he's come back, he just keeps losing. I don't think that you're going to be making new fans, and old fans are getting tired of seeing Rey lose. Granted, his programs with Andrade Cien Almas have been fantastic, but I think Rey needs to get a little bit more credibility here. So next, Bayley and Sasha defending the newly minted women's tag titles against Nia Jax and Tamina. The booking here was that the champions are underdogs, which makes no sense because they won the titles in an elimination chamber, so against 5 other teams, which also included Nia and Tamina. It's not a good story. That does not sound right at all. You should either do away with this underdog story. You could have Nia and Tamina claiming that they are underdogs, but Bayley and Sasha can say, we're not underdogs, we're champions, and we're going to prove it right now. Easy fix right there. Alternatively, we could just not face Nia and Tamina. Nia, admittedly, is doing really well with this, but Tamina is just a sink where any good story just goes to die. We can't do this for long. I think that their first title defense honestly should have been against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, since they were the finalists in the chamber. The team of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville and Bayley and Sasha were also the starting teams in the Elimination Chamber for the first ever women's tag title match. I think that should have made them number one contenders right there. But since this is the WWE, the land of the giants, as it were, we're going to do small champion versus big people, and that's just supposed to be all the drama in the world. No. No, we need to change that. That was not a good one. Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens versus Mustafa Ali. Don't change this. This is a really good match, and it's another match that I think you should go and watch. Then Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. This is another match where it's just like the story you're trying to tell. You have so many moving parts, and you keep trying to keep things interesting. You really need to simplify this. They keep harping on Becky Lynch's leg injury, despite the fact that she's been medically cleared. So her injury should not be bothering her that much. But we're still going at it. The finish of this match was Ronda Rousey just showed up after 10 minutes or so and punched Becky in the face. So Becky Lynch gets disqualified. Therefore Charlotte gets disqualified. Therefore Becky Lynch is the winner. And now Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. And she's happy with that. You could tell me that she's kind of happy that like she's getting into Ronda Rousey's head. And I want to give all the credit in the world to Becky for that because she's trying to work with what she's being given here. But the story that they are showing us on screen is not coming off well. And it's really taking out some of the hype from one of the hottest build-ups that we've had in a long time. There was no need to have Becky Lynch win tonight if we were going to be continuing with the leg injury. Charlotte Flair has not won on pay-per-view in a while now. And the idea that Vince would want to insert her into the WrestleMania picture when she's not had any major wins this year is kind of baffling and confusing. She lost the SmackDown Women's title to Carmella after WrestleMania last year, and since then hasn't done a whole lot. Then she won the SmackDown title back at SummerSlam, and then dropped it to Becky, who has since dropped it to Asuka, and now they are stuck in this three-way for the Raw Women's Championship match. So the SmackDown Women's belt is just kind of forgotten about, and now we've just transferred everything to the Raw Women's SmackDown belt. They're severely hurting the story that they want to tell here. I think Charlotte should have gotten the victory here. Just as a reminder that Charlotte is she is the queen for a reason. We still have another 2 Raws to go until WrestleMania. We can come up with some way to add Becky into that main event at WrestleMania. And it would not have hurt her credibility at all if she ended up passing out from the pain because her leg injury is so hard, and Charlotte locked her in the figure 8 and she just passes out and it gets a ref stoppage. She doesn't tap out. She still has all that heart of the fighting champion that people love to rally behind. And that could be a big point for Charlotte to be like, you didn't tap out in my submission hold. How dare you? I'm going to make it my mission to make you tap out. That's something that Charlotte could be doing right now to kind of make up for the personality vacuum that we have in Ronda Rousey, which Ronda Rousey absolutely delivers in the ring, but whatever they're doing with her right now is just not hitting it for me. And then we had the Shield versus 3 big boys. Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley. This match is just fun. This is just a fun, chaotic, big boys throwing their weight around. I would not dare say that anything should be changed here with this match. So overall, Fastlane was pretty darn good. You really see WWE's weakness in storytelling, and that comes from how they structure their stories. And that's something that it's a serious problem. And that's why it's so hard to make new fans of the product when the stories you're selling us just aren't believable or worth getting invested in. So that's what I would do. As you can see, I have a Bullet Club flag and I got a New Japan t-shirt. clearly I'm a mark and I just know better than everyone else. So they should just do things the way that I say. Anyway, that was it for this episode. We'll see you all WrestleMania weekend. We're going to be talking about NXT TakeOver. We'll be talking about the G1 Super Show. And then, of course, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. We should have the current champion with us at one of those shows, I'm sure. I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you again.